The sky burned red over what was left of Seoul. Captain Do-hyun stood at the small window of the underground bunker, his eyes fixed on the ruins of the city he once called home. 6 months had passed since the Vraxian ships first appeared in Earth's skies. 6 months of fighting, dying, and losing. "Captain, you need to see this." The voice belonged to Jinnah, her white lab coat stained with something dark purple. Alien blood. Do-hyun turned away from the window. The command center was a mess of cables, screens, and tired faces. 20 people worked here now. 20 out of what had once been a military base of thousands. "What is it?" he asked, following Jinnah to her workstation. Before the invasion, she had been one of Korea's top brain scientists. Now she was humanity's last hope. "Look," she said, pointing to a screen showing strange, glowing lines inside what looked like a dead Vraxian's head. "Their brains don't die like ours. Even after we kill them, parts keep working." Do-hyun leaned closer. "What does this mean?" "It means," said Young-ho from across the room, "that we might have a weapon." The old robotics teacher walked over, his limp worse than yesterday. "If their brains still work, we might be able to control them." The room fell silent. Everyone understood what Young-ho was suggesting. "You want to use their dead against them?" Do-hyun asked, his voice low. Jinnah nodded. "It's possible. The crystal structures in their brains keep sending signals long after what we call death. We could hijack those signals." "How soon can you test this?" Do-hyun asked. 2 days, maybe 3, Jinnah answered. "We still need to build the interface." Do-hyun looked around the room at the faces of his team. Some looked hopeful for the first time in months. Others seemed troubled by the idea. "Do we have any other options?" he asked the room. Sumin, who had been a monk before the war, spoke up from his corner. "Captain, using the dead this way, even alien dead, it crosses a line." "We crossed lines the day they came," said Ta-won, the team's security chief. "They've killed billions. They don't deserve respect." Do-hyun raised his hand to stop the argument. "I understand both sides, but we're losing this war. In another month, there might not be any humans left to argue about what's right or wrong." He walked to the center of the room. "Jinnah, you have 3 days. Everyone else, help her however you can." As the team broke up, returning to their stations, Jinnah stayed close to Do-hyun. "There's something else," she said quietly. "I need a volunteer to control the first test subject." Do-hyun knew what she was asking. The neural connection would be untested, dangerous. "I'll do it," he said. Jinnah shook her head. "No, you can't. You're our leader. If something goes wrong." "It has to be me," he interrupted. "I won't ask my people to take risks I won't take myself." Outside, the sound of distant explosions shook dust from the ceiling. The Vraxians were getting closer to finding their hideout. 3 days, Jinnah repeated, determination hardening her face. "In 3 days, we change this war." Do-hyun nodded, looking back at the small window where the red sky glowed through the dust and smoke. The Vraxians thought humanity was beaten. They thought this was the end. They were wrong. This was just the beginning. Jinnah had not slept in 3 days. Her eyes burned as she stared at the alien body on her lab table. The Vraxian was tall, with 6 limbs and blue-gray skin that seemed to shimmer even in death. Its head was large, with no visible eyes, only sensing organs that looked like smooth patches of darker skin. "Hand me the scanner," she said to Young-ho, who passed her a modified medical device they had salvaged from a hospital. Jinnah ran the scanner over the alien's head, watching the readings on her screen. There it was again. Tiny pulses of energy moving through the crystal-like structures in the Vraxian's brain. "It's still active," Young-ho said, leaning closer. 3 weeks after we killed it." Jinnah nodded. "Their neural pathways are nothing like ours. See these crystal formations? They store energy and information, almost like a computer." She put down the scanner and picked up a thin metal probe. Carefully, she inserted it into a small hole they had drilled in the alien's skull. When the probe touched one of the crystals, the body's arm twitched. Young Ho jumped back. That shouldn't be possible. But it is, Jinnah said, her tired face showing a hint of excitement. We can send signals directly to their motor functions. The door to the lab opened, and Do-hyun walked in with Ta-won. Both men stopped when they saw the alien's arm move as Jinnah touched another crystal. You've made progress, Do-hyun said, coming closer. Jinnah looked up. More than progress. I think we can do this faster than I thought. If we connect these neural pathways to a simple control system, we could have a working prototype by tomorrow. And then what? Ta-won asked, his hand resting on his gun. Even dead, the aliens made him nervous. Then we need someone to test it, Jinnah said, looking at Do-hyun. Someone to wear the interface helmet and try to control the body. Do-hyun nodded. As we agreed. I'll do it. No, Ta-won said firmly. With respect, Captain, you're too important. I'll do it. Before Do-hyun could argue, the bunker's alarm began to sound. Red lights flashed in the hallway. Perimeter breach, Ta-won said, drawing his weapon. They found us. How much time do we have? Jinnah asked, already gathering her equipment. Minutes, maybe, Do-hyun answered. We need to move to backup location 3. Young Ho pointed to the alien body. What about our work? Bring it, Do-hyun ordered. Bring everything we need. As they rushed to pack their equipment, Soo-min appeared at the door with Min-ji, the young woman who helped with communications. The west tunnel is clear, Min-ji reported. But we need to hurry. Together, they loaded the alien body onto a cart along with Jinnah's most important equipment. As they moved through the dark tunnel, they could hear explosions above them. The Vraxians were destroying the bunker they had just left. An hour later, they emerged in an abandoned subway station 5 kilometers away. It wasn't as secure as their previous base, but it would have to do. Set up here, Do-hyun told Jinnah as the others organized their limited supplies. How soon can you continue? Jinnah looked at the alien body, then at her equipment. Give me 12 hours. I'll have the interface ready by then. Do-hyun touched her shoulder gently. You need sleep. Later, she said, already connecting power to her devices. This is too important. As Jinnah worked, Do-hyun gathered the rest of the team. 20 tired faces looked back at him, waiting for direction, for hope. They found one base, he said, but they haven't found us. And thanks to Jinnah, we're about to show them something they've never seen before. For the first time in months, his people didn't just look determined. They looked hopeful. The helmet looked strange and scary. Jinnah had built it from parts of computers, medical equipment, and things they had taken from dead Vraxians. Wires stuck out from all sides, connecting to a small power unit on the back. Is it ready? Do-hyun asked, looking at the device with concern. Jinnah nodded. It should work. The interface will connect a human brain to the Vraxian neural system. The team had gathered in their new base. The dead alien lay on a table in the center of the room. Its blue-gray skin looked almost alive under the lights. I still say I should be the one to try it, Ta-won insisted. Do-hyun shook his head. No. The decision is made. Wait, Soo-min interrupted. The former monk rarely spoke up during meetings, so everyone turned to look at him. Before we do this, we need to talk about what it means. What is there to talk about? Hajun asked from his communication station. We're fighting to survive. Soo-min walked slowly to the alien body. This was a thinking being. Even as our enemy, it deserves some respect in death. Using their bodies like puppets, it feels wrong. They kill us without mercy, Ta-won argued. They destroyed our cities, our families. And if we lose what makes us human, what are we fighting for? Soo-min asked quietly. The room fell silent. Do-hyun looked at the faces of his team. They were tired, scared, but still human. Still caring about right and wrong even at the end of the world. "We become monsters to fight monsters," Sumin said. "Is that what we want?" Jinna put down her tools. "He's right to question this. I've been so focused on whether we could do it, I haven't thought enough about whether we should." Do-hyun sighed deeply. "I understand your concerns, Sumin. I share them. But what choice do we have? Conventional weapons don't work against them. We've lost every major battle." He looked at the dead alien. "If there was another way, I would take it." "There isn't another way," Young-ho said. "Not with the time and resources we have." Min-ji, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. What if we asked them?" Everyone turned to look at the young woman. "The dead Vraxians," she explained. "What if there's a way to communicate with whatever is left of their consciousness? To ask permission?" Jinna shook her head. "I don't think that's possible. The consciousness is gone. What remains are just electrical patterns, like computer code. Then we're just using tools," Do-hyun concluded, "not desecrating remains." Su-min didn't look convinced, but he nodded slowly. "If this is our only path to survival, then we must take it. But we should remember what we're doing and why." "Agreed," Do-hyun said. "This isn't revenge, it's survival." He turned to Jinna. "Let's proceed." Jinna picked up the helmet and approached Do-hyun. "Once I put this on you, the neural connection will form quickly. You'll feel disoriented at first. Focus on simple commands. Try to move one limb at a time." Do-hyun sat in a chair next to the alien body. His heart was beating fast, but his face remained calm for his team. "If anything goes wrong, remove the helmet immediately," he told Jinna. She nodded, then carefully placed the strange device on his head. The weight of it surprised him. Lights on the side began to glow, and Jinna connected the final wires to the alien body. "Ready?" she asked. Do-hyun took a deep breath and closed his eyes. "Ready." Jinna pressed a button, and Do-hyun's world exploded into light and confusion. Do-hyun clutched his head in pain. It had been 3 days since the first test with the neural helmet. The test had failed badly. The alien mind was too different from human brains. The connection had nearly killed him. "I can't fix it," Jinna admitted to the team. "Our brains are too different from theirs. The connection is too strong, too strange." "Then we failed," Ho-jun said, his voice tired. "No," Todwon stepped forward. "There's another way. I found something while scouting the Vraxian outpost near Busan." He opened his backpack and pulled out a small rounded device with strange symbols on it. "This is their version of a neural interface," he explained. "They use it to connect to their machines. If we modify Jinna's helmet to work with this." Young-ho took the device, examining it carefully. "It might work. It would create a buffer between our brains and theirs." For 2 days, they worked non-stop. Jinna and Young-ho rebuilt the helmet with the Vraxian technology. It looked even stranger now, a mix of human and alien parts. "We need to test it again," Jinna said when they finished. Before Do-hyun could volunteer, Taiwan stood up. "It's my turn, Captain. You nearly died last time. Let me try." After a long moment, Do-hyun nodded. "Be careful." Taiwan sat down next to the dead Vraxian. Jinna placed the new helmet on his head and started the connection. At first, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the alien's 6-fingered hand moved. It wasn't much, just a small twitch. But everyone held their breath. "I can feel it," Todwon whispered, his eyes closed in concentration. "It's like moving through water. Strange, but possible." Over the next few days, Taiwan practiced controlling the Vraxian body. It was difficult and tiring, but he improved quickly. Soon he could make the alien walk, pick up objects, even use simple tools. "It's time," Do-hyun announced 1 week later. "We need to strike back." The plan was simple but dangerous. Taiwan would use the controlled Vraxian body to infiltrate the alien outpost near Busan. Once inside, he would open the gates for a small strike team. That night, they moved quietly toward the outpost. It was a small building surrounded by a high wall. Vraxian guards patrolled the perimeter, their weapons glowing with strange energy. Taiwan, wearing the helmet, stayed hidden with Jin a half a kilometer away. The dead Vraxian, now controlled by Taiwan, walked alone toward the outpost gates. "It's working," Minji whispered over the radio. She was watching through binoculars. "The guards are letting it in." Inside the command center, Du Hyun waited with the strike team. If Taiwan failed, they would all die. Minutes passed, then an hour. The radio remained silent. "Something's wrong," Du Hyun said, checking his weapon. "We should." The radio crackled. Gates open. Taiwan's voice came through, strained but triumphant. "They don't suspect anything. They see their own kind and don't question it." Do Hyun gave the signal, and the strike team moved in. The Vraxians were caught completely by surprise. The battle was short but intense. When it ended, the humans had control of the outpost. "Look at this," Young Ho called excitedly, pointing to 3 more Vraxian bodies they have found inside. "More subjects for our work." Even better were the alien weapons and technology they captured. For the first time, they had tools that could actually hurt the invaders. But the most important discovery came from Minji. "Their communication system is having problems," she reported, listening to intercepted signals. "They're confused about what happened here. They keep reporting glitches in their network." "They don't understand," Jinnah realized. "They can't comprehend what we're doing with their dead." Do Hyun looked at his team, seeing hope on their faces for the first time in months. "We found their weakness," he said quietly. "Now we use it." News of their success spread quickly. Jinnah worked day and night to make more neural helmets. She sent the plans to other resistance groups around the world. Moscow is reporting their first successful mission, Hejun announced one morning. 2 weeks after their Bizen operation, they used 3 controlled Vraxians to infiltrate an alien food storage facility. Do Hyun nodded, studying a map covered with red marks showing Vraxian strongholds. "What about London?" "They're ready to move tomorrow," Hejun replied. "Lego's team is still preparing but should be ready in 3 days." The humans were fighting back. For 6 months, they had only run and hidden. Now they were striking at the aliens, using their own dead against them. Young Ho entered the room with Minji. Both looked excited. "We found something important in their communications," Minji said. She placed a small device on the table that displayed strange symbols in the air above it. "The Vraxians are confused. Their leaders can't explain what's happening." Young Ho pointed to one of the symbols. "This means error or malfunction. They think there's something wrong with their network." "They don't understand that we're controlling their dead," Minji added. "Their culture has no concept like this. They can't even imagine what we're doing." Do Hyun thought about this. "Can we use this confusion against them?" "Already working on it," Young Ho said. "Jinnah thinks we can access more of their communication system through the neural connection, maybe even send false information." Later that day, Jinnah showed them her latest work. She had connected 3 dead Vraxians to a central system. The aliens lay on tables, their heads attached to machines by thick cables. "With multiple connections, we can see patterns in their network," she explained. "It's like having access to their version of the internet." Taiwan, who now spent most of his time connected to a Vraxian body, nodded. "When on LinkedIn, I can feel their communications like background noise. With practice, I might be able to understand it." The next mission was bigger and bolder. 3 teams, each with a controlled Vraxian, infiltrated a major alien base outside the ruins of Incheon. The operation was a complete success. They captured not just weapons and technology, but something much more valuable, a high-ranking Vraxian officer. "This is our chance," Jinnah said when they brought the alien's body back to their base. Higher-ranking Vraxians have more complex neural systems. This one might give us access to their command structure. As their successes mounted, the Vraxians' behavior began to change. The aliens became erratic, making mistakes. They started shooting at their own kind, unable to tell which ones might be controlled by humans. They're scared, Su Min observed as they watched drone footage of Vraxians fighting among themselves. They don't understand death the way we do. To them, this is like ghosts attacking them. Do Hyun's team wasn't the only one making progress. Reports came in from around the world. In Paris, resistance fighters had taken control of an entire Vraxian landing craft. In Sydney, they had captured an alien weapons facility. For the first time in the war, the aliens were retreating from major cities. We're pushing them back, Hejum said with disbelief in his voice. Not enough, Do Hyun replied, still studying the map. We need something bigger. We need to strike at their leadership. Jinnah, who had been quiet, looked up from her work. I think I know how, she said, but it will be dangerous. More dangerous than anything we've tried before. Everyone looked at her, waiting. We need to enter their network completely, she said, not just listen or send false messages. We need to become part of it. Become part of their network? Do Hyun asked. What does that mean exactly? Jinnah led the team to her lab area. 5 dead Vraxians lay on tables, connected to computers and strange devices. Lights blinked along the cables running from their heads. I've been studying their neural crystals, she explained. They don't just store information. They share it. All Vraxians are connected in some way, like a living internet. Young Ho nodded. That's how they coordinate so well in battle. They share thoughts, images, plans. And now we can access that network. Jinnah continued. Not just listen, but join it. Send our own thoughts and images. How? Todwan asked. He looked tired from his many hours connected to Vraxian bodies. Jinnah pointed to a new helmet she had built. It was smaller than the others, with more alien technology integrated into it. This connects directly to their network without needing to control a body, she said. It's based on the high-ranking officer's neural patterns. With this, we can feed false information to all Vraxians at once. It could change everything, Minji said excitedly. We could make them see things that aren't there, give wrong orders to their troops. Su Min looked concerned. The human mind isn't meant to connect to an alien network. What would it do to the person wearing that helmet? Jinnah hesitated. There are risks. The connection would be much stronger than anything we've tried before. I'll do it, Do Hyun said immediately. Jinnah shook her head. Not this time. I designed it. I understand it better than anyone. It has to be me. Before anyone could argue, alarms began to sound throughout the base. Hejum rushed to his communication station. Multiple Vraxian ships approaching, he reported. They'd found us. Evacuation plan Delta, Do Hyun ordered. Everyone move now. As the team rushed to gather their most important equipment, Jinnah grabbed the new helmet and a small device connected to it. We need to take all the neural interfaces, she told Young Ho, and at least one of the officer's neural crystals. The team split into 3 groups to avoid being caught together. Do Hyun led the first group, carrying weapons and basic supplies. Taiwan led the second with most of the equipment. Jinnah went with the third group, taking her special helmet and research data. They planned to meet at an old factory 20 kilometers away. Do Hyun's group arrived first and set up a temporary base. Taiwan's team made it 5 hours later, after hiding from Vraxian patrols several times. Jinnah's group didn't come. After waiting a full day, Do Hyun prepared a small team to search for them. Before they could leave, a single human figure appeared at the factory entrance. It was Young Ho, bleeding and exhausted. Vraxians, he gasped as they helped him inside. They caught us near the river. Most of us died. Jinnah. They took Jinnah alive. The team fell silent. No one had ever been taken alive by the Vraxians before. They didn't destroy her research, Yum-Ho added, pulling a small device from his pocket. She gave me this before they took her, said it was the most important part. Do-hyun took the device. It contained all of Jinna's data on the Vraxian network. Why would they take her alive? Ta-Won wondered. Min-ji, who had been monitoring alien communications, looked up with fear in her eyes. They're learning. They know what we've been doing with their dead. They want to understand how. Then we need to move faster, Do-hyun said, his voice hard with determination. We need to use Jinna's research to hit them harder than ever. And we need to get her back. He studied the small device in his hand. We're going to build her network connection. And then we're going to use it to find her. Building Jinna's new network device took 2 weeks. Yum-Ho worked day and night, following her notes. Do-hyun insisted on being the first to use it. The risk is too high, Yum-Ho warned as they prepared to activate the device. We don't know what this level of connection might do to a human mind. Jinna is out there, Do-hyun replied firmly. We don't have time to be careful. The new helmet was smaller than the earlier models. Instead of controlling a dead Vraxian body, it would connect directly to the alien network. Do-hyun sat in a chair as Yum-Ho placed it on his head. Focus on finding Jinna, Yum-Ho reminded him. Don't get lost in their network. Do-hyun nodded and closed his eyes. Yum-Ho activated the device. The world disappeared. Do-hyun found himself floating in a strange space, filled with light and moving patterns. This was the Vraxian network, their shared consciousness. It was beautiful and terrifying. He felt thousands of alien minds around him. They couldn't see him yet. Jinna's design kept him hidden, but he could see them. Thoughts, memories, and commands flowed around him like rivers of light. Do-hyun focused on Jinna. He pictured her face, remembered her voice. Something pulled him forward through the network. He followed, moving through streams of alien thoughts. Suddenly, he saw her. Not her physical body, but her presence in the network. She was there, connected somehow. The Vraxians had put her into their system. Before he could reach her, something strange happened. Another presence appeared beside Jinna's. It wasn't human or Vraxian. It was something in between. With a shock, Do-hyun realized what he was seeing. Part of the Vraxians' consciousness remained in the dead bodies they were controlling. They weren't just empty vessels. Echoes of their original minds still existed. The connection broke suddenly. Do-hyun gasped as he returned to his body. Yum-Ho and Ta-Won were standing over him, looking worried. You were connected for 3 hours, Yum-Ho said. Your heart nearly stopped twice. I found her, Do-hyun said weakly. Jinna is alive. They have her connected to their network. But there's something else. He explained what he had discovered about the Vraxian consciousness. The team listened in silence. We're not just controlling empty bodies, Sumin said quietly. We're working with their remaining consciousness. That changes everything, Min-ji whispered. The next day, they tried something new. Instead of forcing control over a dead Vraxian, Min-ji attempted to communicate with the remaining consciousness in one of the bodies. To everyone's surprise, it worked. The alien consciousness responded. It couldn't speak, but it could share images and feelings through the connection. Not all Vraxians wanted this war, Min-ji explained after her session. This one. I think his name was something like Hoon. He was against the invasion. Many of them were. That's hard to believe, Ta-Won said skeptically. It's true, Min-ji insisted. Their society is strictly controlled. Those who opposed the war were silenced. But now that they're dead, the control is gone. They can help us. Over the next few days, more resistance groups reported similar discoveries. Around the world, humans were making contact with Vraxian consciousness fragments. Some were hostile, but many were willing to help. This is our turning point, Do-hyun told his team. We're not just using their dead bodies. We're working with those who want peace. The war changed. With help from sympathetic Vraxian consciousnesses, humans began reclaiming cities. The invaders, facing both external attacks and internal division, started to retreat. "We need to get Jinnah back," Du Hyun said, preparing for their biggest mission yet. "And we need to find the Vraxian leaders. With what we know now, we might be able to end this war." The plan to rescue Jinnah was dangerous. Du Hyun would lead a small team to infiltrate the main Vraxian command ship hovering over what used to be Seoul. They would use 3 controlled Vraxian bodies to get inside. "Our inside help makes this possible," Du Hyun told the team as they prepared. Min-ji had been working with a Vraxian consciousness that called itself Da. It had been a scientist who opposed the war. "Day says there are many like him," Min-ji explained. "Not all Vraxians wanted to invade Earth. Their society was divided, but the military leaders took control. Can we trust this?" Taiwan asked, still suspicious. "I believe we can," Min-ji said firmly. "He's helped us understand their ship layouts, security systems, and command structure." The rescue mission began at night. 3 teams approached the massive Vraxian ship from different directions. Du Hyun led the main team, with Taiwan and Young-ho controlling dead Vraxian bodies to get them past security. Following Da's instructions, they entered through a maintenance area and made their way toward the central laboratories where Jinnah was being held. "Something's wrong." Min-ji's voice came through their communication devices. She was back at base, monitoring Vraxian communications. "There's unusual activity all over the ship. They're fighting each other." Do Hyun's team soon saw evidence of this. Dead Vraxians lay in corridors. Blast marks scared the walls. Some kind of internal conflict was happening. They found Jinnah in a laboratory, connected to strange machines. She was unconscious but alive. As they worked to free her, a group of Vraxians entered the room. Do Hyun raised his weapon, but stopped when one of the aliens made a strange gesture of peace. It spoke in broken human language. "We help you," it said with difficulty. "She, important. She showed us truth." The Vraxian explained that Jinnah's presence in their network had changed things. When humans connected to their communication system, it allowed the suppressed voices in Vraxian society to be heard again. "Civil war," the alien said. "Long time coming. Your Jinnah sparked it." With the help of these rebel Vraxians, Du Hyun's team escaped with Jinnah. As they fled, explosions rocked the massive ship above them. Back at their base, Jinnah slowly recovered. When she finally woke, she had incredible information to share. "I was inside their collective mind," she explained weakly. "They're not evil, not all of them. Their society was taken over by a military faction called the Dominants. They've done this before, invaded other worlds." "Why Earth?" Sumin asked. "Resources, mainly," Jinnah said, "but also fear. They detected our radio signals decades ago and feared we would become a threat." Jinnah's time in the Vraxian network had changed her. She understood their language and culture now. And she had made contact with their resistance movement, led by a commander whose name translated roughly to Seeker of Balanced Harmony. "They want to help us," she insisted. "Not all Vraxians are our enemies." As Jinnah spoke, urgent news came in from around the world. Vraxian ships were fighting each other in orbit. Their ground forces were in chaos, some attacking humans while others protected them. "It's really happening," Young-ho said in amazement. "A Vraxian civil war." Do Hyun called an emergency meeting with resistance leaders from other regions. The situation was changing fast. They needed to decide whether to trust these Vraxian rebels. "If we help them overthrow their military leaders, we might end this war," Do Hyun argued. "But if it's a trick..." Before they could decide, an alert sounded. The main Vraxian command ship was moving. "They're changing position," Hejun reported. "Moving to high orbit." "Why?" Do Hyun asked. Jinnah's face went pale. "The Dominants. When they lose control, they sterilize the planet. Complete destruction. How long do we have? Do-hyun asked, his face grim. Hours, maybe, Jinna replied. Once they reach position, they'll fire the planet-killer weapon. The room fell silent. After all their progress, after turning the tide of the war, they faced total destruction. There must be a way to stop them, Ta-won said. Jin-ah nodded slowly. There is, but it will require something we've never tried before, a full neural merge. She explained that the Vraxian rebels had given her knowledge of the command chip systems. If someone could fully connect to the Vraxian network, not just observe or send messages, but completely join it, they might be able to disable the weapon from within. The problem is, she continued, no human mind can handle that level of connection. It would be too much. What about a hybrid approach? Young-ho suggested. Multiple people connecting together, sharing the load. Jinna thought for a moment. It might work, but it would be incredibly dangerous. Everyone connected would risk their mind, maybe their life. I volunteer, Do-hyun said immediately. So do I, Min-ji added. One by one, the core team volunteered. Jinna, Do-hyun, Min-ji, Ta-won, Young-ho, Soo-min, and Hejun. All 7 would connect to the network together. They worked quickly to modify the neural helmets. Jin-ah designed a central hub that would connect all of them to each other, then to the Vraxian network. Once we're in, she explained, we need to find the command protocols for the weapon system. With help from the rebel Vraxians, we should be able to deactivate it. 3 hours later, they were ready. The 7 sat in a circle, neural helmets on their heads. In the center was a strange device combining human and Vraxian technology. Remember, Jinna said, stay together, don't get lost in the network. Focus on our goal. Do-hyun reached out and took her hand. Together, he said. The others joined hands, forming a circle. Jinna activated the device. Their minds exploded into the vast Vraxian network. It was overwhelming. Billions of thoughts, memories, and commands flowing around them. But they had each other, their human consciousness linked together, giving them strength. They moved through the network as one, searching for the weapon controls. Rebel Vraxian minds joined them, guiding them through the complex system. They found what they were looking for, a heavily protected section of the network controlling the ship's main weapons. As they approached, they met resistance. The military leaders, the dominants, fought to keep them out. The battle was unlike anything they had experienced, not physical, but a war of minds and wills. The humans pushed forward together, their combined determination giving them strength that surprised the Vraxians. With a final surge of effort, they broke through the defenses and reached the weapon controls. Working together with the rebel Vraxians, they changed the command codes, locking out the dominance leaders. But they didn't stop there. Using the ship's communication system, they broadcast the truth to every Vraxian on Earth and in orbit. They showed images of peaceful human civilization, of the beauty of Earth, of the potential for coexistence. The broadcast triggered mass mutiny throughout the Vraxian forces. The civil war that had been brewing for centuries finally erupted fully. The dominance leaders lost control as their own people turned against them. When the 7 humans returned to their bodies, they learned that Vraxian ships were standing down worldwide. The rebel leader, seeker of balanced harmony, had taken control of the fleet and was calling for peace talks. 3 days later, Do-hyun, Jinna, and Soo-min met with Seeker and other rebel leaders. The war was over. The dominance had been overthrown, not just on Earth, but throughout Vraxian society. We misjudged you, Seeker told them. We thought humans were primitive, violent, but you showed us something we had lost. Compassion, cooperation, hope. We both learned from this war, Do-hyun replied. Now we rebuild together. As they left the meeting, Jin-ah looked up at the sky where Vraxian ships now worked alongside human aircraft to repair Earth's damaged atmosphere. They thought we were beaten, she said quietly. But they never understood what makes humans special. We don't just survive. We find hope in the darkest places. We turn enemies into allies. We transform.